dip.
Let me introduce you to our new baby.
I never did good in geometry. Shapes piss me off.
GameCube, one of my favorite childhood consoles that I didn't own for a while.
Oh, props to the Nintendo Wii for allowing me to play a variety of titles across all generations and WiiWare. Beyond that, I was able to play my GameCube discs on the Wii, and eventually I got so hooked I just had to get the real thing. The OG Indigo, such a beautiful piece of hardware. While it missed out on bigger titles like Metal Gear Solid, Grand Theft Auto, Larry Boy and the Bad Apple, the first-party support was absolutely immaculate. Nintendo fired on every cylinder possible this generation, trying to save themselves from the bunker of the N64. You'd figure Nintendo, a company possessing the god Miyamoto-san, would be smart and adaptable in a competitive and forever-changing environment, but no. They used carts in the N64, and then they used underpowered discs for the GameCube.
Why couldn't you learn?
This meant that third-party support was very limited, but we did have Resident Evil 4, Super Monkey Ball, the avalanche of Sonic titles, and great RPGs like Tales of Symphonia, Skies of Arcadia. Don't be sad if I missed Go-Go Hypergrind or Phantasy Star, I'm sorry. Fake Geist is just trying his best. But Nintendo knew how to get things done on the game side. While they didn't have CD and DVD playback like the PlayStation 2, almost every Nintendo-published title on the GameCube is seen with fine eyes and nostalgia. Almost every series had its peak on this system, which is no accident. This was the last time that Nintendo was directly competing with Xbox and Sony. They were outputting a system that had hardware better than the PlayStation 2s and a little bit under the Xboxes, but nonetheless, they were in the ring this time, so they had to make games that people wanted to play, things that set them apart from the competition. They put massive effort with the graphics, the soundtrack, satisfying UI, amazing mechanics and concepts. Every part of a GameCube game performs in unison to create an experience that is unmatched to almost any other experience on the market. This goes for every game, from F-Zero to Dobatu Bancho. Nothing can compete with the games released during this generation, which is why so many regard it as their favorite system. Selling over 21 million, the GameCube failed to compete with the Xbox's 24 million and the PlayStation 2's glorified DVD player. Yeah, this thing absolutely murdered the fucking competition, but Nintendo had Luigi. So with the GameCube selling so little, I got curious. How many copies of these games are out in the wild? The prices of these things have shot up, mostly around lockdown. But think about it, all the people who got rid of their games a long time ago, and along with the Switch's 125 million install base, there's bound to be new fans who want to experience these old titles, and unless you're willing to break the law, you have to spend a lot of money. The retro wave for these games is rampant. Some of these games have millions of copies or less out there. So with so many new fans joining the cult, it's going to get competitive from scalpers, sellers, and buyers alike.
Well, fuck the PlayStation. Let's take a look at GameCube and some of the best-selling titles for the system, because I have nothing better to do today.
Wait a minute, we have to talk about console bundles first. GameCube variations are a very interesting topic, and while I would love to spend a lot of time on them and talk about the various amounts of MTV consoles out there, I'm just going to stick to bundles of games that are on the list. So, for starters, Metroid Prime had a few bundles released in different regions. It was also bundled with Wind Waker in that half-and-half pack that is now insanely expensive today. Wind Waker was also a game to get pushed alongside the GameCube in several different regions, so this definitely also has some pack-in syndrome as well. You might be also noticing the trend that most of these special editions don't do anything to the console other than change the middle part. I'm not sure if America got Pokemon Colosseum, but Europe and Japan definitely got bundled with this. I know I wasn't going to stray off topic talking about bundles, but Japan cheated us out. Look at this Gundam bundle. It is a red GameCube, red controller, red Wavebird, red Game Boy player. This color just looks so amazing. Why is it exclusive? And don't get me started on the Tales of Symphonia console. This looks beautiful. The most beautiful looking blue I have ever seen in my life. Why is it exclusive to Japan? Okay, so Mario had a lot of bundles. No shit. So, for starters, there was the Mario Party 6 and Mario Party 7 bundles. Now, the 7 was released in America. As for 6, I don't know where the fuck this thing came from. There was also a Mario Sunshine bundle and a Mario Kart Double Dash bundle, both of which released in North America and Japan and Europe. Now, Canadians also got a very specific game that I'm pissed off about. Also, Mario Strikers got a bundle, and that pisses me off a lot. This box looks amazing. Also, Smash Brothers had a bundle, so no shit. Most of these games were console sellers, so it made sense for them to be bundled with this system, and that's why I wanted to mention it, because these sales may have something to do with a lot of these bundles, because they were pushed. Mario Party 6, technically the 8th in the series thanks to Mario Party E, a card reader game, and Super Mario Fushigi no Korokoro Party, an arcade release developed by Capcom and released only in Japan 3 months before Mario Party 6's December release. Possessing a copy of Mario Party 6 is like possessing the holy Chef Boyardee mac and cheese. Fans of the Mario Party series are so fucking divided. I can never tell if Mario Party 6 is the best or if 2 is. I don't fucking get it. Personally, I love 6 because unlike the others, the boards have a day and night mechanic that while it does create a problematic result at times, it creates an experience particular to this game, and I'm glad it's on this list since it was one of the better ones released for the system. The orb system is good.
Oh, I'll get to orbs, don't worry.
But the minigames in this specific release are the cream of the crop. Every minigame is amazing with a perfect balance of fun, fair, unfair, and bullshit. The boards are amazing, excluding Castaway Bay. The character selection is funny. The solo content and side content, this is truly the perfect Mario Party in my opinion.
Looks like I'm gonna have to play some of these games because unlike Scone, I'm willing to break the fucking law.
Hey, the dude from G Fuel can. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. This was Sega's port of the game since they officially opted out of the console battlegrounds in January of 2001. Funnily enough, this is the only game on this list not published by Nintendo, so good job, Sega. While many find nostalgia with the Dreamcast release, Battle reworks the game's textures and adds a slew of improvements and tweaks to the game, as well as multiplayer. I actually had a bit of fun with the multiplayer, but only for like 10 minutes. The story is the main focus of the game, being broken down into a hero or a villain arc, both of which offer a fun and memorable experience, especially as a kid. The soundtrack and great acting, a little bit of clunky lookingness, it's all here. Makes me want a Sonic Adventure 3. Fuck, go back.
Oh, don't worry, I'm still here.
Alrighty, so somehow Star Fox managed to break top 15 on the list, so yeah, if that doesn't tell you how rough the GameCube generation was, maybe Mario Baseball will? So this took Captain Fox out of the pilot seat and into the world of platforming. I sleep happy at night knowing this was developed by Rare, the gods of game design. While the game is one of the best-selling, yada yada, it's still heavily unknown to the masses. While it isn't a Mario Galaxy or Majora's Mask, it's pretty fun. Haven't beaten it, but it's fun. It was critically seen like most of Nintendo's games around this time, but I truly think Rare did an amazing job considering it was their last time working on a Nintendo game. I think they did a beautiful send-off. Look at that 60 FPS, and Fox looks amazing, the other characters look amazing, and the scenery, the animals, oh my god! This game is not only fun and new, but I just think that it is something so different for Star Fox that I can't believe more people haven't heard of it. It's not perfect, but it's not bad either. Honestly, it feels really similar to Wario World, taking an IP known for something else and throwing them into a 3D platformer. And honestly, it wasn't bad. I'll complete it one day and then hate on it for 23 minutes, I assure you. When people say they want the old Paper Mario, when they say the GameCube was a renaissance for Nintendo's quality, quantity, and creativity in projects, this game is what I think of. From a game that was originally supposed to be a sequel to Mario RPG to Origami King, Paper Mario as a series has grown and changed over every single entry. Yet time and time again, fans have always praised Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door for being the most fun in the series. The game is quite expensive today due to its notoriety and obvious quote-unquote low sales, but it doesn't reflect the quality of the title. See, whether you are a fan of turn-based RPGs or not, this game is undeniably charming from start to finish. While the cutscenes can be long at times, I will not lie when I say that almost every aspect about this game has allowed it to age insanely well. Origami King, the newest entry in the series, does something that pisses me the absolute fuck off. You can't spam through text, just like GB Robo. Fuck me! Seriously, if you're replaying one of these games, you should be able to skip cutscenes or at least speed up the text, but no, you have to slowly watch it pop up and have it drag on and on and on. You see what I mean here is the Thousand Year Door just allows you to play the game over and over again and still have it be new. The RPG system not only makes it fun and not annoying, but this is what the Paper Mario series was known for. Turn-based RPG where you have to interact in order to do more damage and defend yourself. Also, I know that the skip through text thing might be a little bit niche, but when you're playing a game that's 20 hours and plus, it really adds up when you can't skip any of these text prompts. Plus, the game's badge system was amazing. It allowed you to customize your team and yourself to do more damage, less damage, etc. There was gambling items, the Pit of 100 Trials. There's also many different buddies who not only help you in battle with specific moves, but they also help you outside in the platforming puzzles with different abilities. Mario also has several different abilities that he can unlock that help him in battle and outside as well. There is just so much to this game that I would be keeping you here way too long if I described everything that it has
has to offer. This was my first GameCube game, and it will always be my favorite. It got me hooked on Nintendo games, and I longed for the day they'd make a TTYD 2 of some sorts, and well, I never really got it, but it doesn't matter because of how amazing this title is and how much I can replay it. Like cars.
Woo! Okay, get ready for some more Mario Party. I know it's hard to look at 4 GameCube Mario Parties and accept, yes, each one is unique in its own way, but please let me explain. Mario Party 5 through 7 use an orb system that I described earlier, which are the items in the game that allow you to do a variety of things. Now, one of the reasons why these games are better than anything to come after is the fact that these orbs can be placed onto spaces, and since there are many unique orbs, it can get to the point where every single space on the board is covered and the game is just absolute hell. Trust me, this will absolutely break friendships. There'll be this one guy who just gets all of his spaces landed on and will be reaping the rewards while everyone else is just suffering. Now, Mario Party 5 calls these orbs capsules, but they're essentially the same thing, and some of them do different things. Some might take your coins in half, some might bring you to the star, some might swap your places with a player. They all do different things, and trust me, they can fuck your game up if they're right. Now, every game does this different. In 5, you can throw a capsule up to 10 spaces in front of you. 6 and 7, you could throw these now newly named orbs 5 spaces in front or behind you. Personally, I like how Mario Party 5 just lets you hug these things fucking far as shit. Now, Mario Party 7 tries to improve on 6, but it just feels a little bland. The boards are a bit worse, and Koopa Kid was killed and resorted to a space, so fuck that. This is also the only Mario Party that seems to have a theming around like Super Mario Sunshine, because the rest of them all had their own thing going on. This one seems like it's trying to really sell itself. The music, except for Pagoda Peak, is some of the worst shit I've heard. The minigames aren't that good. The character roster isn't really that fun. Overall, Mario Party 7 really wasn't my favorite, even though I owned it before any of the others. Don't get me wrong, it's better than Mario Party 9 and 10, and I'm gonna be honest, it does allow for 8 players, which is the first for the series. Come on, 8 players, that's a really big accomplishment, even if the controls aren't very conventional. This was a game that I played as a child a lot, and I'm quite critical of it, mostly due to the fact that 6 and 5 just do the formula better in my opinion. The music isn't that great, like I said before, the minigames aren't that great, but overall, the side content is fine. This is a great package if you purchase it for Mario Party needs. This is my shit. Take what I said before about the orbs and apply that to this game, but remember they're called capsules. Now, any Mario Party game with some type of item allows you to use these for free. Whether you get it from a mini game, a spot on the board, or buying it yourself, you're always allowed to use the items for free.
Fucking
Mario Party 5 charges you to use these capsules. While you can throw these capsules on the board for free to just let someone else deal with it, sometimes these capsules are beneficial to use on yourself. But you can also use a capsule that takes half of your coins away. Why would you want to do that to yourself? And what about the coin block capsule? It contains 10 coins. Use it for 5 and get a profit of 5, or throw it on the space and let someone get 10 for free. Why the what? Now, I know you might think that capsules are stupid, but no, they're actually really good, considering that Mario Party 5 only has the blue space, red space, happening space, Bowser space, and DK space. This means that everything else from duels, moving the star, to any other bullshit, all happens because you used a capsule. Alright, now real quick, you get these capsules by spinning this little capsule guy. The other games just let you pick one up as you randomly run on a space, which is much better because turning this thing takes forever. Mario Party 5 came in gunnin' with 75 minigames and 7 goddamn boards. That is impressive. They also got 6 whole modes: party mode, story mode, super duel mode, bonus mode, option mode, and minigame mode. Hell yeah! The story mode for this game is pretty good. I played through it and, about a day, but I still liked it. I swear my fucking copy of this game is haunted though. Seriously, I hope someone else has this experience where you're playing Mario Party or Mario Kart and there's always just that one AI that fucks with you constantly and you just can't do anything about it. He will just constantly fuck you over and win and there's nothing you can do and it just makes you fucking hate Koopa Kid. This game sold better than Mario Party 6 and 7, which makes sense considering that most parents are like, why do you need Mario Party 6 when we already have a Mario Party with a number at home? And considering the fanbase lament that this one wasn't as good as the others, I find it funny that it sold the most, but personally I like it a lot. Not for $90, but I like it a lot. Re-release this shit instead of making Super Mario Party 2. Do it, Nintendo, do it.
Another ROM, baby!
Now this sold pretty well, look at that. With the name Pokemon, it was bound to generate success, come on. Now Pokemon Colosseum was a game that I saw a lot of people playing and bringing their Pokemon onto the big screen, and I thought it was pretty cool, but I never really quite got into it myself. I fell off Pokemon a lot considering I had way less time to dump into games than before, so to be honest, I never really picked this up when I started coming back to the GameCube, and I don't really like Pokemon that much.
Oh, I love controversy. Hit me hard, bitch.
However, Pokemon Colosseum was amazing and even spawned the infamous sequel Gale of Darkness. This game was basically an adventure on the home console. While you didn't do the traditional formula of gyms and catching Pokemon wildly, you instead are a rogue trainer with a sidekick traveling the region to capture shadow Pokemon. Items, battling, strategy, it's all here. Look, this is a game that many fans love, and I haven't touched it too much, so I'm not gonna shit on it now.
Hey, Scone! You don't own Mario Party 4?
No, I don't own Mario Party 4.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I never fucking got around to it.
Nah, you're a bitch. Shut the fuck up.
You're sitting
Shut
there,
the
you don't
fuck
do
up. You're a
anything. All you do is
bitch,
sit in the
man.
class
You're a
and
bitch.
school,
You don't
you don't do
Mario Party
anything. You
4.
know what
Fuck
I mean?
off.
You don't
Fuck
even
Mario
pay
Party
taxes.
4.
You're a bitch.
Alrighty, well, at least all 4 of the Mario parties made it to the list, but we can safely say that none of the GameCube Mario parties outsold the first one. Hell, Mario Party 4 didn't even beat 2's sales. Like, come on! Now, to be fair, Mario Party 4 was the first one to be released on the GameCube, so it makes sense that it sold the most. Like, this was the first one to hit the shelves. Like I said before, parents aren't going to buy their kid Mario Party 6 when they have 4 at home. It's just the same thing, right? Right? Well, the introductory cutscene is nightmare fuel. The way Mario just yeses on camera. Oh my god, they fucked up PK, bro. I don't know, dude, they're so dead. They're so deadpan. Like, what the I also think it's just because the characters literally have, like, no animations whatsoever, and they're just in the most realistic environment, and the hills don't even have eyes. Like, bro. And the game looks clunky because it was the first one to move to 3D. Alright, beyond that, yeah, the mushroom gimmick sucks, the boards all look the same, it's an overall downgrade from 3 in all honesty, but the atmosphere and the energy put into the host does make it worthwhile. Oh yeah, so most Mario Party games just have one host, but this one has a different host for every single board. Cool! This was also the last game that DK would be playable in for a very long time. Some of the gimmicks and spaces are funny because they're, you know, fuck you, there's satisfying UI, the AI is still pissed off. While it isn't most people's first choice for a Mario Party, I personally think it's a great game. Even if it's just the start for how good the series will be, it's still not that bad. Being Pothead certified, I have to say that this is in fact a stoner's paradise. The beauty of Animal Crossing lies within your personal experience with the game. Unlike other titles in the series, the characters here are kind of rude, but it adds to how the GameCube version feels. It's a game that truly feels like a little world living in your memory card. Memorable folk like Nook, Tom Rossetti, post office worker. This was a beautiful start to one of Nintendo's most iconic series, and honestly, I'm surprised it didn't sell more. This game was originally titled Animal Forest and was released on the N64 in Japan only. Then Nintendo of America was like, alright, let's take this dinky little game about chores, localize it, and bada bing bada boom. This new localized version was so good that Japan was like, alright, let's re-release Animal Forest on the GameCube and base it on the American version. Like, wow, the copied homework becomes the source. The ambience and atmosphere derived through the cute menus, interactive NPCs, decor options, the amazing soundtrack composed by Kazumi Totaka, and the forever-changing time allow this game to create an experience no other franchise can. New Horizons and Noon Leaf, while being massive entries in this series that brought millions of fans and executed the formula to a T, I still have all the love for the original title on the GameCube as I feel so relaxed in this setting, so cozy. I recount my memories as a kid, sneaking to play this game at 3 a.m., not knowing how to change the time, just listening to the nice music and doing chores while everyone is asleep. And listening to the little melodies, it was just so chill. Also, I feel like everyone has this experience sitting on the cute pause menu, watching the dinky character walk in place. It's just so much fun for no damn reason. This outsold Animal Crossing? Now, to be fair, Microsoft was a newcomer during this generation, but slam dunked with the release of Halo Combat Evolved on November 15th, 2001. And Metroid releasing a year and 3 days later just felt like Nintendo's response to Halo, and honestly, it did a pretty good job responding. It spawned a very loyal fanbase and multiple follow-up entries. Retro Studios took a once 2D game and breathed it into life. This honestly ain't bad for an FPS on the GameCube. It's creative, with an amazing score and scenery, engaging.
I haven't beat it.
This game has been given a remaster and it's pretty good, but the original on the GameCube feels groundbreaking. This is truly a functioning shooter game on the old box cube. Oh, I just pissed my pants. When you think of Nintendo's console launches before this point, they were all massive. Super Mario Bros. On the NES, Super Mario World and F-Zero on the Super Nintendo, Mario 64. This company had created a reputation of killer openers to their system, and with the GameCube, Nintendo's major graphical leap where they would be direct competitors with Xbox and Sony, they came full force with. Trust me, I'm still pissing. People wanted a new Mario 3D adventure, they wanted Smash Bros., they wanted 3D Zelda. Not this. And with everything on the line, you trust Mario's little brother with the launch?
What the fuck?
Now, Luigi's Mansion isn't a game that'll put you into cardiac arrest, but it is insanely charming. Now, given the game was insanely short, yeah, that definitely does not bode well considering that it's a launch title.
You buy this and after 6 hours, you're wondering why you didn't just get the DVD player. Luigi's Mansion, however, is a fun game. It's quirky and it serves a purpose. I honestly adore Egad and the cute ghost as well as how animated Luigi is. And that fog and lighting, aw man.
Jesus, the bullshit readings are off the charts.
Hey guys, 2002 Gamer here, and Zelda the Wind Waker is a far cry from what made the series good. It's so bad! The art style is for children, and I'm not a children! I want a tall, old, mature Link who's already went for puberty and can wet my pants. Not this bullshit!
While selling favorably, this game did not see good critical reception. In fact, it took until the Wii U for people to say it looked sexy. The Wind Waker's world is so expansive, and I love the lore of a civilization buried in water with all the ancient beings, the locales to traverse. Combine that with the gameplay, world, and art style, this is what I look for in a Nintendo release. An absolute masterpiece. And of course, this shit was a fucking pack-in.
Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo!
This is the best 3D Mario game of all time. As a child, it was either Galaxy or Mario with his sleeves rolled up, and damn it, I didn't know Mario had skin. That was so cool. Flood is an amazing mechanic. You'd think being able to float would make traversal easy, but jank. But there is a lot of bullshit in Sunshine. Chucksters, gambling, lava. Honestly, this game doesn't make me so mad because as a child I played it to death considering it was my only GameCube game I had for a while. That wasn't an RPG. But yeah, the spikes are notable, and while every other Mario game gives you changes in scenery throughout the levels and locations, Mario Sunshine keeps you in this resort beach themed world the entire time, and honestly I love it. Sometimes Flood fucks off for a level, and this is where the real stones come out. While dying is frequent, I love the challenge and uniqueness this title brought with it. Being a pack-in, it still deserves its third place spot. Well, some didn't find it a suitable sequel to 64. I personally think it was just what everyone needed. Hey, what Nintendo console doesn't have a Mario Kart? You shut the fuck up. From the Super Nintendo to the Wii U, Mario Kart always generates some of the highest sales in terms of Mario games and games overall, and for good reason. These games are so easy to enjoy with friends and family, the racing concept is simple, and the Mario characters make it digestible to the 4-year-old who only uses Mario toothpaste. Now, getting into the specifics between titles, the casual audience disappears and we are left with the mega versions who debate on which game Luigi looks sexiest in, Mario Kart Wii. But Double Dash is one of the most interesting titles in the franchise, and other than Super Circuit, it is the worst selling home console Mario Kart game of all time. No, I don't count Home Circuit, fuck you. While this game only has 16 tracks in total, the character roster is bumped up and we got the oddball inclusion of Petey Piranha and King Boo. Yay, he was a DLC character. Some of the tracks in this game are the most memorable in the series. Mushroom City, a bustling fun course. Yoshi Circuit, a track designed in the shape of a perfection itself. Dino Jungle, fuck you. Wario Colosseum, fuck you again. This game's incarnation of Rainbow Road is kind of flaccid to me, like, Jesus, this is really how you're gonna end it? At least it isn't a marathon like 64's, and the track is pretty good. Now, I don't know how many people care about battle mode, but this is my war zone. Sadly, bots weren't introduced into battle mode till Mario Kart Wii, so it looks like I'm using 2 controllers again. Almost selling 7 million copies, this game proves to be one of the most influential and amazing GameCube games of all time, but if so many people bought it, why is this game consistently over $70 used? What the fuck? There are games that sold far less going for cheaper, like Mario Golf and Tennis. I know demand really stirs these things, and since Nintendo is a bitch about re-releasing things, this game is probably doomed to stay on the cube, so whatever.
We all know what number 1 is, so let's fuck off and give the honorable mentions a chance.
Can you believe these 3 games all tied for 16th? While yes, technically if we measure sales to each disc, they wouldn't be, but either way it's pretty cool. They all sold 1.6 mil. Pikmin is a wonderful little niche release on the system. It spawned a sequel, and while not a commercial hit, it has quite the cult following for being a beautiful work of art. Without spoiling what Pikmin is, it's just an absolutely beautiful game that has hidden messages that I never thought the game would have. Mario Strikers. Oh, Mario Strikers. Mario Strikers?
Mario Strikers.
While many third-party releases on the GameCube failed to scratch 1 million sales, Resident Evil stuck as it was initially an exclusive before moving to every platform imaginable. To this day, it is an amazing experience, and while the remake didn't live up to the original in my opinion, I'm still glad it's here to show how amazing the game truly was. But nah, the voice acting, the way that the world was portrayed, the fucking jump scare, and even just little parts of the game just feel more scarier on the GameCube than it does on the remake. The GameCube, it just, with the static, it genuinely feels and looks better. Beyond that, we have the rest of the Mario spin-offs. I was surprised to see Strikers was the best-selling sport game. Not a single Mario sport made it to the top 15, though. I'm surprised that Toadstool Toro didn't sell more, and as for tennis, it sold around the same. Baseball was the worst performing of all the Mario sports, and I don't think that was fair considering that this was actually a fun game. I mean, tennis is more engaging and golf is golf.
F-Zero GX selling $1.5 million. I'm happy to see it got some attention, but copies are still kind of expensive today. You know, when Mario Kart wasn't working, I think that Kirby Air Ride was a good substitution, but overall, I haven't really played this game with many people. I've only played it by myself, so I can't really give a full-on, detailed yes or no given it, but I personally think that it's a fun game, it's unique, and I wouldn't buy a second one. Sonic Mega Collection. This is one of the best game collections to ever be released. The presentation, the games, being able to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the extra bits, amazing soundtracks. What are you doing watching this video still? Go play this game now.
Oh my god, they gave him bongos!
Bought it because I was drunk, stayed because I was high. Donkey Konga is a rhythm game that funnily enough predates Guitar Hero, so bow to the king. Not gonna lie, it's pretty fun for what it's worth. I reckon you get the bongos because playing this game with a standard controller just feels sad. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Resident Evil OG, Soul Calibur 2, the one with Link in it. Pikmin 2, Odama, Star Fox Assault, a third-person shooter developed by Namco. Thank you. Chibi Robo didn't make it far in sales at all, but it's still worth mentioning since it is a part of the GameCube lineage. My true opinions on this game has to wait a month or so, but all I can say is I am surprised Nintendo was even behind this. You see, Bandai Namco was originally publishing the title, but then abandoned it. It was originally a point-and-click game, and then Nintendo came in, and they acquired the publishing rights and turned it into this. Seriously, this game is surprising. It goes really deep in places that it does not need to go. That's what she said. But seriously, you have to play this game. Never mind. For those about to banish me into the Shadow Realm, don't worry. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I bought this game when I was 6 for 10 bones and sold it back now, and it's fucking worth $200. Why am I so fucking retarded? How did this game even get that expensive? It sold over 1 million copies.
Zelda, take a look.
This is it. Super Smash Bros. Melee outsold everything else on the GameCube, and for good reason. This was Nintendo's Halo. This motherfucker was the one to push consoles out the door. People were aspiring to be this game. Not to mention, it was the most anticipated game, being developed in a surprisingly short cycle. This game has stood the test of time, to this day being regarded as the greatest Smash game of all time. But I'll admit, nostalgia junkies, fuck you. You are ruining the used game market, and I looked at the stats, it doesn't fucking make sense. How is Cell Damage, a game that barely sold, $20, and then Melee, 7 million, the most sold GameCube game of all time, $70? Are you fucking kidding me?
This game was everywhere when I was a kid. Every store had at least 10 copies, but nowadays it's oh, it's rare, it's $80. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna be honest, out of all the Smash games, I take the Melee the best. I don't know if it's because of the GameCube controller or whatnot, but this game just feels designed for it, and the combat, the character selection, the side content, solo content, it's all here. This game will fucking pack an afternoon, pack your week. Like an 11-month cycle of development, yet somehow they churned out one of the greatest fighting games of all time. It's still played to this day. People hold tournaments for it. I just don't know how they did it. So, what should we take away from the GameCube's best-selling games? Well, Battle for Bikini Bottom wasn't on there. I also found it kind of odd that all 4 Mario Party games were on here and you're telling me no one wanted to play baseball. But I also think about it, combining all of the sales in the series, it does sell more than Melee technically, so I wonder if they released just one Mario Party game for the GameCube, they would have sold a lot of that one game, or if the annual release actually made it sell better. I'm not sure. The fact that I had to mention Star Fox Adventures is crazy, as there are so many games that sold less but are more popular. The Thousand Year Door sold more than its older brother, which is good, and Mario Kart being number 2 feels right at home. I guess a lot of GameCube owners also played Sonic Adventure 2 on the system. I mean, I would think more people played the Mega Collection, considering I find that game in the wild all the time, and I've never seen Adventure 2. It's also nice to see Luigi able to captivate so many, but you gotta remember, people were sort of forced into buying this game since it was the only one at launch. What the fuck are you gonna do, not buy it? But hey, Wind Waker was 4th, it shouldn't be so expensive, fuck off. And while Pikmin didn't quite hit the mark, I personally think that it did amazing for a first entry IP. This was completely new and it sold 1.6. And with Melee being the cherry on top, I think it is a fitting end for the best-selling games of the GameCube. Honestly, this game was by far the highest one to push people to buy the system, and it was by far the best aging as well.
Whether you have played any of the games on here or not, like them or dislike them, it is undeniable that the GameCube generation was by far one of the best generations Nintendo has ever had. These games took risk and they did it amazingly, and I wouldn't trade the Nintendo GameCube generation for anything else. Every release was gold, and I love looking back at these things and playing them today because they still feel new.
Alright, Nintendo fans, in honor of Mario Strikers now making the list, I'm going to sacrifice it to Miyamoto-san. Oh, now don't worry, it is official game, because if it weren't an official game, it wouldn't be able to do this!
Blob.